Juan Luna's Spoliarium is a Filipino icon, an art masterpiece that has become the symbol of the country's colonial past and even of the continuing struggle against oppression. It is a must visit for students on field trips and is in their Araling Panlipunan books. It is one of the best known paintings in the country. Juan Luna's Spoliarium brought historical triumph not just to Luna but also to the Philippines in 1884 when it bested Spanish artists and won a first-class medal in the Madrid Exposition of Fine Arts. Spoliarium was the name given to the Roman Colosseum basement where fallen gladiators were thrown in after combat, which is depicted in the life-size piece currently on display in the National Museum of Fine Arts. The 4.22 by 7.675 meter oil on canvas is considered the largest painting in the country. It illustrates two dead gladiators being dragged by Romans at the center. On the left, scavengers eye the dead men's possessions while a Roman beside them raises a fist in protest. A woman mourns a loved one on the right side while an old man searches for a body amid the smoky haze. The depiction of Roman cruelty in the painting has been interpreted as an allegory for the state of the Philippines under Spanish rule. It inspired the title of rock band Eraserheads on 1997 hit song Spoliarium, which has been connected by many to the Pepsi Paloma Reef controversy. In a world of wordsmiths, spoken words poets, and musicians, Fernando Amorsolo chose to share his love of the Philippines through painting. His exceptional style captivated many people and even paved the way for the future generation of Filipino artists. For his unrivaled talent, he became one of the most prominent faces in the world of Philippine visual arts. So, one of the famous artwork of Fernando Amorsolo is the painting of Dalagang Bukid on 1958, and it showcased a young and beautiful Filipina woman who was supposed to be the epitome of the ideal Filipino beauty back then. It showcased a woman that had this golden glow surrounding her, and she also had this charm of a Philippine provincial lass, which was truly fawned over by men back in the day. The woman seen in the painting can be described as someone who had similar characteristics to Maria Clara, whom was regarded to as the ideal Filipina. The banga or clay jar that the woman is holding symbolizes the purity and innocence of a young woman, which was regarded to as reference to the song Dalagang Bukid by national artist Atang de la Rama, wherein the line goes, may isang dalagang nagsalok ng tubig, kinig ng ganda, nga'y hubog sinilatik. The scenery of the painting showcases leaves that seem to flow along the wind, which I think adds to the romantic atmosphere of the painting, making it so much more mesmerizing.
Hoya. Jose Hoya was born in Manila on June 3, 1931. He finished his Bachelor of the Fine Arts at the University of the Philippines as the university first magna cum laude in 1953. He was awarded a Spanish government painting grant to Madrid in 1954 to 1955, after which he toured Europe. Jose T. Hoya was a Filipino abstract artist and a National Artist of the Philippines awardee. Hoya was a printmaker, painter, mixed media artist. Elmer Berlongan, born in 1967 in Manila, is a contemporary Filipino painter. He started taking painting lessons at the age of 11 under Fernando Sena. He took a fine arts major in painting at the University of the Philippines in Diliman. He received the prestigious CCP13 Artist Award in 1994. Elmer Berlongan is a prominent contemporary Filipino painter best known for his distinctive use of figurative expressionism.
Ang mga likhang sining ni Angke Yukok ay sumasalamin sa kanyang pangunawa para sa mga visual na alegorya, malakas na colorist tendencies at cubist-inspired aesthetics. Angke Yukok ay marahil pinakakilala sa emosyon sa kanyang sining. Karamihan sa mga ito ay hilaw at kadalasan malungkot o galit. Ang mga eksena sa kanyang mga gawa ay naglalarawan ng mga pagpapako sa krus, hiyawan o mga figurang nalulungkot. Gamit ang matingkad na kulay at surrealist cubist na estilo ng pagpapahayag, ipinahayag ni Angke Yukok ang kanyang mga pananaw sa lipunan sa kabuuan ng kanyang karera. Ipinanganak sa mga magulang na Chinese immigrant, si Kuyukok ay sinasabing naging inspirasyon ng guro at kaibigan, kapwa-artista, si Victor Manansala. Sa isang paglalakbay sa New York, sinabing si Kuyukok ay naantig sa kapahamakan at kasiraan ng lungsod. Nakalaunan ay isinalin ang mga temang ito sa kanyang trabaho. Sa panahon ng Remigio Marcos, muling ginamit ni Kuyukok ang kanyang sining bilang parehong pagpapahayag ng sarili at komentaryo sa lipunan sa mga akda tulad ng Screaming Figures at Seated Figure. Arturo Luz was born on November 20, 1926 in Manila, Republic of the Philippines. He studied painting at the School of Fine Arts at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, the Art School of the Brooklyn Museum in New York, and the academic grade Comrie in Paris. He received a diploma from the California College of Arts and Crafts in Oakland. In 1994, he married artist Tessie Ojeda Luz. Arturo Luz's sophisticated geometric design is perhaps his most well-known and celebrated style. The elegance to be found in his neorealist paintings are manifested in his simplistic use of colors as well as in his subject, of which the most famous range from cityscapes to musicians. A national artist for visual artists in 1997, Luz is an artist well-trained, having studied in Manila, Paris, New York, and California. Speaking on his style, he was once quoted saying, "I cannot paint flowers. They are by nature too decorative and pretty. I, I like things that are very stark, elemental, simple, like a stone or a shell." And in true Luz fashion, he has transformed complex shapes, architectural elements, and human forms into a minimalistic shapes, rectangles, and lines. In my perspective, they are the same paintings, but they convey something different. Like Arturo Luz was a Filipino visual artist, he was also known a printmaker, sculpture designer, and art administrator. And Ang Kiyokok was a Filipino painter of Chinese descent and was a national artist for visual arts.
Carlos Butong Francisco's signature lies not just the subject of his work, most of which depicts scenes of deep-rooted Filipino histories, but also in his medium, a moralist at heart. Butong Francisco helped revive form in Manila. His work can be seen in the City Hall of Manila as well as in the National Museum. A storyteller through Francisco works have captured narrative closer to our collective conscience. He has created morals of the first mass in the Philippines, resolved deaths at the hands of the guardian civil, and the iconic reimagining of Andres Bonifacio charging against the Spaniards with the KKK. Fernando Zubel de Ayala. Despite Fernando Zubel's prolific background, the skin prominent Zubel de Ayala family, one can guess from his biography that his life was far from easy. He had suffered health problems since childhood, lost his father to an infection, and lived through political turmoil both in Spain and in the Philippines. His art style abstractionist was inspired by Mark Rothko, but also Rothko is famous for vibrant colors. Zubel art has been mostly done in blacks, whites, blues, and grays. Also some works evoke a calming feel with their soft, even brush strokes. Others are created that feel quite tense, with sharp, dark, crisscrossing lines against a light backdrop. While Zubel play on a color and stroke can be interpreted differently, he had once been quoted talking about the emotion in his approach. Critics have asked me, he once said, what I did with against in my life. My answer is that I leave it at home where it belongs, since it has nothing to do with my painting.
Benedicto Reyes Cabrera, born on April 10, 1942, better known as Ben Cab, is a Filipino painter and awarded National Artist of the Philippines for Visual Arts in 2006. He has been noted as arguably the best-selling painter of his generation of Filipino artists. Some works of Benedicto Cabrera: La Familia, The Family. Anita Magsaysayho, born on May 25, 1914, Filipino painter who specialized in social realism and post-cubism in regards to women and Filipino culture. Magsaysayho's work appeals to modernism by utilizing more abstract design and style rather than realistic approach. Some works of Anita Magsaysayho: Fish Harvest at Dawn. The Gentle Grace of Anita Magsaysayho,